Studios Productions.
Welcome back to the Laur Studios podcast with the Silver Beats, and we'll be talking about the fourth album, The Silver Beats 4. Let's get this started with the first question from Ryan.
What was the original idea that started this album?
So, as a whole, it was, we've said this the
Every
first
episode,
three episodes,
yeah.
but to, get another album done. But more importantly, we didn't have the time to get together in studios at all.
Right.
Not a single time.
No, not at all this album.
And we just wanted to, keep doing music.
Well, I think a big part was redemption for ourselves after the mishap of the third album.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, this album did have some major flaws like the third, but nowhere near as bad as that third album.
Exactly.
And the reason that it was really necessary for us to keep moving forward with another album was to prove that we're able to continue to grow as musicians. So we're going to keep moving forward with another topic similar to that with Ryan's next question.
What is the inspiration behind the title?
What's that? Self-titled album. We had been wanting to do one since the second album.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, most people are familiar to some extent, but if you're not familiar, the Beatles' 1968 album, the White Album, was actually a self-titled album, The Beatles.
Yeah.
We have always liked the Beatles, we admire them, and I know, like he said, we wanted to do it since the second album just to throw it out there and see how well it would actually do.
Right. So let's go into some of the songs and songwriting aspect with some of these next few questions from Ryan.
What song on the album changed the most from the demo to the finished product?
I would say Our Dream is the second contender for that position. We originally started with a concept of the flute, the main track. As we mentioned in the previous episode, we had been wanting a Mellotron in February. We finally obtained a Mellotron. So we were able to finally use, and we knew right from the start that we wanted the Mellotron flute track. We had started the demo prior to February. In fact, we started it right after the third album was released in January.
Almost instantly.
The next project we started, and it all stemmed from this art project that was released on YouTube several decades ago.
Yeah.
That was titled something similar to Michigan's Dream or something like that, which is where the original title, Michigan's Winter or something similar to that, came from. And they had a nice, very unique rhythmic beat to it. So we decided to kind of go off of that with some inspiration, and it eventually shaped into a completely different song, which we'll play the demo here so you can hear the huge and dramatic difference of the two. So you can hear that's the silver aliases that we mentioned in that previous episode here. That's prior, just a couple days prior to the Mellotron. So,
And that's all we had.
Yeah.
Was this simple
was this
riff.
simple beat, and very reminiscent of that art video that I had mentioned. Really reminiscent. And obviously today we have the final product that we'll just get into a little bit here, which is super it is one of the most complex tracks layering wise. There's a lot of layers, and most of it's Mellotron. So going from that simplistic one-track take to what we have here, and we're going to get into that.
Now this is with the Mellotron.
Yes.
This is the finished product.
Very similar, but let me show you. Right, with the lyrics, we finally got the lyrics written, which some interesting information
Tidbits we'll have later
on in the episode about the lyrics right after the break. So it's a pretty interesting song. A lot of complexity to it.
Yeah, there's several Mellotron tracks, and that's all that it is.
Right.
Is Mellotron tracks and singing.
Yeah. So really unique. you know,
I love the break when we do it.
very
or when you do it
psychedelic.
here.
Yeah, very psychedelic. I had really gotten into the Sgt. Pepper's and Magical Mystery Tour era. Again, I went back to it because it was just really capturing me for some reason. So that's really a product of that era for me. So that's pretty prevalent, I'd say. But I would say the most changed is arguably one of the worst tracks off the whole album, Miss Doreen. That song was scrapped.
Yeah,
And
it had been scrapped twice.
It had been scrapped twice, originally called something completely different. Had been scrapped twice, and it somehow made its way back. And it's interesting. It deserves a reboot. I would say
It
is.
really does.
The lyrics themselves are not terrible. It's kind of interesting about a guy wanting to cheat with someone, but he doesn't. So it's really odd. Not reflective of us personally as the writers. It's definitely not reflectant, but just a weird. In fact, I think it had stemmed from a show I had been watching at the time.
Yeah.
I got the kind of the theme from it, so we'll play that here. Do we have the first demo? I think we've got the.
Yeah.
Do we have the original take? So we'll play that.
I don't know if
original
it's the full original, but it's
Right.
as close as we can get. Or no, unfortunately, this is all we have. Oh, this is the demo of the new version. I don't know if we have the original.
I don't think we do. So yeah, I don't think we've got the original take, and it's probably because we deleted it twice. We cut it twice. So
I mean, even this changed a lot.
yeah,
From
so,
this to
right,
the final.
Right. So yeah, this is a. If we can switch over to the new one now, changed significantly. Again, more Mellotron. The big thing about this album is because the Mellotron are so hard to obtain, and with how costly they are for such small units, we utilized it on almost every track. Looking back,
Yeah.
I don't know if we should have, but when you get a new car, you drive it around a lot. So it's very similar to that.
Yeah. I mean, it's got a nice amount of pep.
Right.
Unfortunately, like I said, we don't have a full original. This was the third time that we changed it, lyric-wise and
just super hard to write, but yeah. And another interesting tidbit about this song a little bit later on where the title came from accidentally. But yeah, we'll get into that. But yeah, I think out of all the songs that changed the most, I think the two there, I think that kind of wraps it up for the unique part, and we'll keep going with some songwriting with our next question.
Was Miss Doreen a big risk to your album?
It was a risk that did not pay off, which I think was one of the first times. The risks I mean, you're gonna have risks that fail. It's just a concept to life.
Yeah.
And this was our first one.
Yeah.
Every other risk we had taken, it worked. But this one, and we kind of knew going in that we just wanted to get rid of it and finally have it done. Now, it's not a terrible song. It's just not good. It's not what we wanted.
It's not what it
nowhere
should have
near what
been.
it should have been. It was a huge risk. It did not pay off.
Yeah.
It did teach us that don't take willy-nilly risks, because this is what it was. It did not work.
Yeah, I mean, we had done it so
Disaster.
many times
It
in
was
the
a
past, and
disaster.
it just,
Right.
it works out.
Worked. We got lucky.
And, this album, it really showed us, hey, that doesn't happen every time.
It was a huge risk.
I'd say Our Dream was another big risk.
Oh, it was a huge
because
risk.
it's such a experimental song.
Right.
I mean,
we didn't do psychological music.
Yeah.
And it was a big risk.
That one did pay off
It paid
better.
off hugely.
yeah, much better.
It taught us how to layer the same instrument a lot and
Yeah.
make it work, which we had never done before.
Yeah, I mean,
So that was a big payout.
he did that for Our Dream, and then Walk in the Park, mine, I layered, I think, 3 guitar parts, maybe 2 guitar.
Yeah.
It's, a lot
Yeah.
of layering.
I mean,
and
just small risks like that.
Yeah,
right?
it's just-
it adds
we
up.
didn't discover it until, about now. Like, obviously, the second album, when I did Long Way Home, there was a little bit of layering. but it was me playing the same thing, just an octave up. Whereas, like Walk in the Park, there's a lot of different notes to it, Same thing for Our Dream, it just flows from one instrument to the other, but it's the same actual instrument.
So hopefully now we'll get into some positives with Ryan's next question.
With what sounds to be Miss Dorian being a bit of a not so proud moment, what would be your most proud lyrical track and why?
I would have to say Our Dream. I mean, I know we keep coming back to it, but it, for me, was a huge risk because, surprisingly enough, it is very hard to write very psychedelic music with not being on any psychedelic drug. It's impossible trying to think of how someone under an influence of something that heavy would be thinking.
Exactly.
So I did go back to, again, that Magical Mystery Tour era of the Beatles to really figure out, and not even their music, I listened to more of their interviews and how they were thinking and how they would speak, and that played a huge role. Oddly enough, the song came about, we had the song idea, we didn't have lyrics, and I was sitting in a parking lot for probably 3 hours at a hospital. I don't know why I was there. I was waiting for someone to get out of some sort of appointment, and I was just laying in the car, we're getting ready to take a nap, and I was thinking of dreams, because I'd been listening to a podcast about how people dream, and it had just clicked. It completely clicked. I wrote it all down, and I got it done in one take, which that middle part's a little bit interesting lyrically about sour cream and cheddar cheese, which we'll get to that on the final thoughts segment of this episode. But I mean, yeah, lyrically, I was just super happy it worked. It clicked perfectly with the idea of the music we had. In fact, I went home that night, and within 3 hours, I had the whole song done. I completely just came up with it.
Yeah,
off
I
the
remember
top of
you
my head,
messaging me saying,
I said,
"Hey, I finished
Go
Our
take a
Dream."
look. We knew it was going to be a huge project. We had no idea how long it was going to take, and I had it done in a day because I was about to take a nap. So oddly enough, it played off.
The laziness paid a
And
part.
that's exactly it. I mean, it worked so well, and I think that's, for me, lyrically, I didn't think it was ever going to happen. So it did by accident. So for me, that's my choice. But yeah, absolutely. I'm sure you have quite a few on this one.
Yeah. So for sure, I love You Till Tomorrow. I really liked the lyrics for it. It just happened. Another one that I say was probably my proudest moment would have to be Did What You Did. I mean, despite the fact that it is the best song performing, even before it was released, I knew it was good. When you write something like that, and you're having people listen to it, and they're going, "Oh yeah, it's good," and you're like, "Yeah, this is good. I really do like it. It's going to pay off." Did What You Did, funny enough, was done in one take. The vocals were. It was like 11:30 or midnight. It was very late, and I couldn't sleep. So I turned on the organ that was in my room, was messing around with that, and then I came up with a guitar riff, so I transposed it over to the guitar, did that, and sang. Most people, when they're doing lyric writing, they'll write it down beforehand. Like, you obviously just said you did, or you'll work at it. But most of the time for my songs, I will do it in one take. That's kind of a hindrance, because that's why some songs don't pan out, is because I'm just randomly singing. But Did What You Did is a perfect moment of it working well.
Right.
I had done it in one take, sent it over to you, and you did the Mellotron part. It works well.
Right.
You can't
Right.
even
It's part
tell.
of the song.
I mean, I'm sure the viewers didn't even know that it one take and it was done. But yeah, it worked well.
Part of the magic of songwriting.
Exactly.
But yeah, those are definitely some of our proud moments of some of our lyrics on here. So
For sure.
Yeah, let's keep getting into some of this deeper cut music with your next question, Ryan.
How do these songs rank amongst your album's discography?
We keep coming back to the same songs.
Yeah, but
But-
there's a reason.
Yeah,
There is a reason. I think what we've talked about so far, if you agree, they're up there.
Yeah.
For this one, they're up
I mean,
there.
Did What You Did, #1 on the album. It's
Right.
it's the
Right.
best song we've ever released. So obviously, that's the top of the chart here. Break Free was, it was also up there. I personally liked Our Dream,
Right.
and I liked Give Us a Chance. That was a
Yes.
nice little track that I had
Yep.
wrote. But obviously those top of the chart, top of the
Yeah,
bill.
keep coming back to them, but there's a reason for us.
Right.
And I think we're gonna start wrapping up here just a little bit. So Ryan, if you want to keep going.
Is there an underrated track you'd like the fans to take a little more time on?
Walk in the Park is one of my favorites. It's nice little instrumental. It did decently, but in my mind, when I released it, I wished it had done a little better.
Yeah, I would say Rock Out. I know it did all right, but it's just a different feel for us, different
Yeah.
sound. And I was going back to it recently, and I even still hear new things in it.
Yeah.
Is there a track that shows how you've grown as an artist since the previous
A lot
album?
of it.
A lot.
A lot of it, especially for you.
Yeah, a lot.
of it.
One of the first songs, we won't count the singles because those were actually written previously. But for me, writing all of the songs almost, it really shows because you can tell, this song he wrote and, he was in a decent space for it. And then, other ones like A New Day, the lyrics are very rudimentary, they're not detailed, very repetitive,
Right.
which albeit is what the lyrics were on the first three
Right.
for a lot of them.
Right. True.
But, as a whole, the album really, it showed that I could write lyrics when it needed to happen.
Right.
Yeah,
I mean, I think the big thing for me is it allowed us to use our software a lot more.
Yeah.
At this point, BandLab had done several updates, not to the point where you had to buy a premium subscription, which obviously our band uses a lot, and it's wonderful.
Yeah.
But there was a whole ton of stuff that had been added from the previous album. And the other big thing that I think we need to point out is the gap between this album to the last one was only a couple months.
Yeah.
From January to April in the same year is huge.
It's unheard of.
No artist does that. They can't write that quick. Which obviously in the next episode is even crazier because it's an even harder task, and it's
Smaller gap.
a smaller gap, same year, a third album. So the fact that we had written 3 albums, but at this point only 2, in the same year, just months apart,
Exactly.
really showed how much we developed. Previously, we had spent from 2016 to 2021, we worked on 1 album.
Yeah.
Then 21 to 22, we got a second album. And then now, it took us a little bit longer for a third. Now we're starting to be able to write and create music rapidly. And part of
Exactly.
that's from BandLab's advancements. But as people, we changed a bunch between
Yeah.
just a couple months. Like I said, January to April of 24, just huge improvements
Oh
as
yeah,
artists.
so many things had changed, and
Right.
with Caden not being able to record as much and do as much, I mean, I was nonstop writing things, just nonstop writing, nonstop recording, and
Yeah.
you can tell that there were a lot of developments, just in the music, just musically alone, that actually changed over the course of the album. So,
Absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, let's get into the next one.
Are there any interesting quirks that can be found in the album?
So, back to Our Dream. As previously mentioned, we keep going back, but
It is what it is. There's a couple songs.
It is what it is. As I mentioned just a little bit ago about the lyrical, I think it's post-break.
Yeah.
In fact, can you pull up and single the lyric track out
Yeah.
so they can hear what we're talking about? You'll notice that it says sour cream cheddar cheese. And I had spent so long on that spot in the lyrics, and for some reason I had to put a placeholder. And going back to, again, we have a lot of inspiration from the Beatles. In fact, that's the reason Ethan and I even talked to each other. So yeah, as we listened to that, what had happened was I could not figure out what I could rhyme. And going back to that inspiration of the Beatles, a lot of times they would add things like, she wants me like a cauliflower.
Yeah.
So that
just
kind
a
of
filler of something so you can keep moving on the
and
song.
so the sour cream cheddar cheese, because I had tacos the night prior to, so I just had thought of it, and I had recorded the song and recorded the part,
Yeah.
and just wait to go back to it, and I forgot to, so it got kept in the song. I think we got it here. So yeah, there it is. I had completely forgotten that I left it in the song, and
when I had listened to it,
yeah,
because
a little confused.
Yeah, he had told me that night, that hey, it's done, give it a listen, and I messaged him and I go, what does it say about sour cream and cheddar cheese? And he goes, I'm sorry, what? Yeah, what is that in the song? And he goes, oh my gosh, I thought I fixed that.
Yeah, and I had a part that worked, and I had left home for dinner, so to go back to record it, and I had forgotten it. So of course it just got left in, and it works. It's part of the weird psychedelic muddled garbage that it is, and it's
hot garbage.
It's just one of those just weird things of, why does he say this? Well, that would be why.
Exactly.
The other big thing I want to point out isn't a song. It is the album cover, which a lot of people probably don't know how that came about other than you and me.
Yeah.
And it's kind of interesting. So obviously we have our photo editing app, and we knew that we had been following a color pattern at this point where every album was a new color, and we were feeling green. We wanted something green. So we were like, well, this one's going to be green. It's a self-titled album. So obviously you can see that behind the lettering you have the shadow effect. It makes it look a little bit 3D. We knew kind of right off the bat that we wanted it to be super simplistic. The last three had been pretty complex. So we
also
wanted
it more kind of psychedelic almost.
Yeah, we were with the
experimental.
Mellotron. We wanted to be experimental. We wanted to be psychedelic. So we knew that was a big thing we wanted to focus on. So I'm going to turn it over to you to explain the background layering and how that went.
So we were on the phone actually, and we decided that this album was going to be green. So he's like, all right, well, I'll try and get some things going and started. And I went, well, actually, hold on a minute. So I had this pair of pants from the 70s that had that pattern. And they were like a green, yellow, or green, like yellowish, So I took a picture of that, and I took a picture of a shirt that I had that was like a green shirt. So he was able to take them both, combine them, add a little bit of a shadow effect, and that's how that came to be.
So it's just two pieces of clothing. Oddly enough, it's nothing special. But it works as the thing. It's originally it is just a straight across and vertical pattern.
Right.
I had twisted it on its side, and then I super boosted the green effect, and I just made them both a little bit opaque. And in fact, the white that you're getting in the background is the original white canvas that's showing through the gradient effect of the clothing. So it's kind of a blank canvas effect with the opaque. But it worked super well, and as soon as we saw it, we thought, that is it. We knew exactly right then and there, that's what we wanted. So that's my last little tidbit for now of just how the album cover came about. I think it's just kind of a unique little piece of Silver Beats history there. So, I'll turn it over to you. I'm sure you got some things.
Yeah. So the song for 13, Bad Man, again, going back to one of our favorite bands of all time, the Beatles, in the Get Back sessions, John Lennon had done a song that was called Madman. And I liked the lyrics that he had. And so I loosely based this off of that for the lyrics. Obviously because of copyright and things and just general creativity, I wanted to have the song flow differently. But the main chorus is very similar to what he had done just because I liked it so much and, I wanted to have something based off of it. So, I know that you and me have both pulled a lot of inspiration from the Beatles.
Right.
And,
Just
that
goes
was
to
one of
show
those
more
things.
their effect over us.
Yeah,
and
it was just
their
one of those
creative
things,
ability.
I heard it and I was like, well, I kind of like that middle verse, so, obviously I changed it so it's mine, not John Lennon's, but, it is very loosely based off of his song Madman. I just took the inspiration because I, had fallen in love with it. Thank you for watching the 4th episode of the Laur Studios podcast with the Silver Beats. Be sure to tune in next time for the 5th episode where we'll be talking about the 5th album.
Enjoy the rest of your evening, folks. Good night.
Laur Studios Productions.